And very nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been awake for a little while. How are you guys doing? Thumbs up. Welcome, you're
Absolutely.
alive. You have come back to normal ground. Feeling pretty good about that? All right. All right. Well, I'm glad to see all of you. We have a full day. I'm actually thinking that we may run out of time, but it's our last day. My child is wandering around the house. Your book is on the thing. Okay. Did Maggie take it? Okay. So, hi, hi, hi. Let us begin with this is our last class, guys. It's over now. The dream is over. It's going to be great. All right, let's do some final get to know you questions. I've got to find my website for it though. Okay. Kenna. Kenna in here? Kenna's not here yet. Okay. Starting again. Lydia, it's you. How often do you buy clothing?
Not very often. I'd say I might buy some cool socks like 5 times a year.
Okay, define cool sock for me.
Socks with fun prints on them. I don't know.
Because I just saw socks that make your feet look like animal paws or hooves or whatever, and I'm wondering if that is your kind of cool sock.
That can be one of them. Yeah.
All right. All right, I accept that. Um, Garrett, what form of public transportation do you prefer? Air, boat, train, bus, car?
Um, well, I've never been on a plane before or a train that I can remember. Um, so probably a car.
All right, I accept that offering. Michaela, what is the worst gift you have ever been given?
Yeah, I say back at you.
Um, well, I'm gonna go back to my grandmother gave me a pack of plastic combs when I was like 14. Just combs. That was my Christmas present. It was unexciting to me. So, in that case, what's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
All right. Jack, what is the last thing you recorded on TV?
Um, I don't even know because we haven't had like regular TV in a while since you've had to record it. Um,
Yeah, maybe the last thing you watched on TV.
um, Dancing with the Stars on Hulu.
Oh, there's a lot of glitter there. All right, Adam. Um, how many pillows do you sleep with?
One, I just one.
Just one. Okay. Maggie, what's your favorite fast food chain? You're on mute.
Um, I don't know. Back at you.
Uh, Chick-fil-A. All right. In which case, what is your favorite subject in school?
ASL or science.
Okay. Ryan, do you love or hate roller coasters?
I love roller coasters.
Tyler, what is your favorite family recipe?
Potato soup.
Okay. Very comforting. Um, Maya, do you prefer the glass half full or half empty?
Aren't they the same thing? Half full then.
Yeah, the positive side or the negative side.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Did I get everyone today? I think I did. Okay, so Kenna is not here right now, so hopefully she'll join us. Oh,
Bella.
she just came in right now. Kenna, you came perfect.
Isabella.
In time. Isabella,
I'm
did you
I'm
not go?
I'm so sorry. I kind of forgot. And then I had the dogs like woke me up and they had problems with dog door and stuff this morning, so I got distracted. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go to Isabella because apparently I have forgotten her today. What of your five senses would you say is the strongest?
Maybe sight, I think.
All right. All right. And Kenna, does your family have a motto, spoken or unspoken?
Wait, a motto?
A motto.
Can't think of one.
Like something that you guys say all the time.
I always say all the time. Well, I mean, we call each other funny names all the time, like hoser or like things like that. But I don't think that we really have a motto.
Okay. All right. Now have I gotten everyone? Okay. Wonderful. Well, let me share my screen with you. One thing that you can blame Michaela for coming up with this, because we were talking about wanting to make sure that you didn't zone out as everyone was doing their presentations. And so what we're going to do is everyone will have the opportunity to speak, and then I'm going to draw your order out of one little bag. And out of the other little bag, I'm going to select one person to respond with something interesting about the topic or the take of it, just a response. This is only to get you to do active listening because I believe active listening is good. Sound fair? Okay. All right. So let me draw from my first name. Are you all ready for your 2 to 3 minute? I learned something in this class and it wasn't 10 weeks of wasted time. Yeah? Okay. Tyler, you're the first one.
Why is the Bill of Rights so important? The Bill of Rights, or the first 10 amendments for the U.S. Constitution, was made on December 15th, 1791, to address the concerns of the Anti-Federalists who feared that the government would become too powerful and infringe on Americans' rights. After the U.S. Constitution was drafted, these concerns led to making the first 10 amendments to protect our freedoms as Americans. The Bill of Rights was a necessary compromise to gain support from Americans to limit government power and protect our freedoms as Americans. It was created because of growing concerns that the Constitution didn't make enough safeguards for our rights as Americans. The Bill of Rights ensures that government cannot infringe upon our rights as Americans, such as freedom to pick our own religion, speak freely to one another, and etc. The Bill of Rights has many different purposes. First, it guarantees essential freedoms like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to a fair trial. Second, it limits the power of the government, making it so that it cannot overstep its own power or violate our personal liberties as Americans. The Bill of Rights is the cornerstone of American democracy, reflecting values of justice, equality, and individual liberty. It has changed the outcome of many different laws and court decisions all throughout America's history, helping make different legal standards for civil rights and justice. As a citizen, the Bill of Rights continues to affect me and everyone I know every day by giving us the reassurance that we have the rights and that our laws to protect those rights by being a safeguard, and to limit the government's power from becoming a dictatorship or having the government do whatever they want, whenever they want, and to whoever they want. That could happen if the Bill of Rights didn't exist, and protecting us from being undermined and keeping power to us Americans.
Good job. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I just pulled your name out to give a response. That's not going to work. Garrett, could you respond to Tyler?
Do you think there should be any amendments added to the Bill of Rights?
That one I have to think about. I would say, uh, yeah, I don't know. Because everything that you would add would also have a compromise, and everything that you try to compromise before would have another compromise. So, I don't know.
Okay, how about this one? Instead of adding another one, would there be one that you would alter a little bit?
I would probably alter the fifth one a little bit, and hear me out, that if you're a felony or a felon, whatever it is, then you don't ultimately have the right to remain silent because police officers already don't have that right. And if you're already convicted of a felony before, whether that be unjust or just, then you shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. It could go both ways.
Okay. Thank you. I like that. Thanks, Garrett. Adam, it's your turn. You're up.
Mine was I started off and blobbed everything out on a piece of paper, and it turned out it was 3 minutes and 30 seconds long, so I had to cut off a lot of it. So, anyway, here we go. I'm gonna try. All right, I'm gonna start my stopwatch. My presentation is on the government trying to land grab. This is called eminent domain, and it means that the government can take as much private property as they want as long as they pay the owner. They use the land for things like forest and animal recovery, hatcheries, roads, schools, parks, livestock grazing, hard rock mining, timber harvesting, and energy development. A lot of these, a lot of times they'll have private owners of livestock who will pay the federal government to graze their animals on the federal government. To graze, my bad, 1 second. They'll have private owners of livestock companies who will pay the federal government to graze their animals on the government's land, and then they will pay the owner with the money. I think the government is wrong in this because they are saying that as long as the person gets paid for it, the government can take as much land as they want. I believe the people should not have to sell if they don't want to because they are using it to graze their animals, to graze their own animals. But now they have to pay the government to graze their animals on the land that should be theirs. The government owns 640 million acres, which is roughly 28% of the total land mass in the United States. The West is substantially more land owned by the government because the government uses national parks for some of the land. For example, Arizona has 48.4% of its land owned by the government. Utah is 57%, Alaska is 69%, and then Nevada is 85% owned by the government. One of the few benefits of land grabbing is that they have national parks for us to see and our children to see. I have loved going to the national parks. For example, Yellowstone has been a very impactful one to me. I would have been really sad to have only learned about it in a history book instead of seeing it in real life. Another national park that I've loved was Bryce National Canyon. There were lots of really cool trails there with eroded sandstone rocks making really cool pillars called hoodoos that sometimes make funny statues. For instance, the Queen of England statue and the Chipmunk and Sid the Sloth statue. It was a ton of fun going there with my family. If the land was privately owned, there's a big possibility that they wouldn't let anyone or they wouldn't let anyone see it, or we'd probably have to pay a lot of money, which would mean that means well, which would mean that only rich people would get to see it. However, since much of the land in the West is owned by the federal government, it would be a lot harder for me as a citizen of the United States to live there when I grow up because there is not as much land available to buy, which makes it more expensive.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Kenna, what's your response to Adam's topic or response?
How did I know that it was gonna be me?
It's you.
I don't really have anything to like give you any questions or anything. It was really put together nicely. And I liked that you gave percentages on some of some of the states that have more land that's taken over by the government. But yeah, good job.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Garrett, you're up.
Sorry, wrong button.
It's okay.
Okay, so my presentation is on the 26th Amendment. And this idea came to me during the a class I was having in church, and they asked if I would alter any laws. And I said that I would personally alter the 26th Amendment to require the citizenship test and class for people, citizens under the age of 18 to take before they're able to vote. I think this should be taking place because of the lack of knowledge that has taken place in the U.S. To this date. Uh, the the lack of knowledge started during the revolution when the socialists started influencing the school system in order to make citizens that would obey orders and just work in the factories. Okay, this became such a big problem that now the government officials are taking advantage of it and are able to manipulate you and your emotions with their emotional jabs at different candidates and their their ideas of trying to sorry, my bad. By saying giving these statements that they say they know what's best for you in context and that you should just agree with them because the other person is the bad guy. Okay, I think the best way to enact this change to the amendment is to have a popular vote, just like the election, and so that the people can say if this is good or not. The the federal way is for an amendment to be proposed by either the House or the Congress by two-thirds of the state, and that may be able to be set in place with three-fourths of the state and Congress voting it in to the amendment to the Constitution. This would affect me in that I would have to eventually take the test, the system test, and also my family, like my mom and dad, would have to take it, and all of you would have to take it eventually. So that's my presentation.
Awesome. Thank you. Maggie, would you like to give a response?
Why would you alter the amendment instead of just taking the amendment away? Personally, why would you alter it instead of taking it all the way away?
Because altering it is better than see, my proposal is not to take away the 26th Amendment. My proposal is to just add a section to it requiring citizens of the United States to also take the citizenship class and test, and then they're able to vote. Now, this is not like taking away your free will or anything. This is not saying you have to take this test as soon as you come of age of 18. No, if you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. And so then you don't take the test or the quiz or the class.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Jack, you're next.
I'm sitting at our pens, so if you hear a tractor or cows go by, my apologies. Um, we were moving cows and we ran out of time. So, um, why are property rights? My presentation is about property rights. Why are they important to my family? Being a fourth generation rancher, property rights are extremely important for me to be familiar with. Acre by acre, farmers and ranchers know their land better than the back of their hands. Because agriculture producers are best suited to choose the production practices that will work best for their land, we must be free to use it as we please. When city limits are expanded to include farmland, agriculture producers can be forced to follow additional regulations and ordinances that restrict their right to use their property to grow, raise food, and fiber. Farmers and ranchers who own large tracts of land often must share their private property with government entities and utility companies. Easements are used for oil and gas pipelines, power lines, and telephone lines on private property. We are happy to work with utility companies and others, but want to ensure our private property is well cared for because land is the most critical resource to our livelihood. Entities using property on or alongside farmland must care for and protect the land just like the agriculture producers. Historical and legal foundations of property rights have shaped the principle of the United States Constitution. Influenced by thinkers like John Locke and traditions such as English common law, these foundations emphasize property as a pillar of individual liberty. James Madison, the principal author of the Constitution, believed that property included not just physical assets, but one's ideas and personal liberty. He wrote that the government is installed to protect property of every sort. The Fifth Amendment, particularly the taking clause, reflects this balance, drawing from the Magna Carta's limitation on sovereign power to seize property. The Fifth Amendment's taking clause states, "Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation." This clause safeguards against governmental overreach, reflecting the framers' respect for individual rights and their cautious approach to governmental authority. There has been a Supreme Court case in recent years that has changed the principles of private property from what the framers had originally intended. For that reason, states have implemented right to farm amendments to their state constitution, ensuring the property rights of farmers and ranchers.
Very cool. Thank you. Tyler, do you have a response to Jack?
I think so, but it was breaking up here and there. But that was really good, and I like how it was put together. So for the, you said the 20s, which amendment was it?
The fifth.
The fifth? Yeah, it was good. I kept breaking up, so I didn't really hear you. I'm going in and out of service.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's interesting that at least two of you have chosen the same topic. That's interesting to me. Lydia, you're next.
My kind of, what's it called? Essay per se is about how the government was made and how it was like way more different than other governments in the past. So I'm currently also doing AP World History right now, and it definitely helped me see how most of the governments was just ruled by monarchy, and they just got to pick what's going on, and a lot of the empires like crashed because of it, and they weren't made with Christian backgrounds or biblical backgrounds like our government was, and how like the framers had to put a lot of thought and like made these amendments and how they changed over the years. So, yeah. And the other governments and like I said, they're monarchy led, and some of them had Christian backgrounds or like, beliefs, and the ones with beliefs um usually stayed longer, and the ones who like adapted more like ideas and stuff like that stayed longer. But like the USA has stayed really long for like a while and has adapted lots of cultural things, and the Christian backgrounds are like kind of going away in a way, like not as strong as it was definitely, and how a lot of our rulers aren't Christians, and how it's like making it more chaotic for everyone. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Isabella, do you have a response?
I don't really have a question, but I think it was really well laid out and good job on saying about the um monarchies that didn't really make it because of the way that they ruled.
Okay, thank you. All right, Michaela.
You're on it. Okay. Okay. In our American history, children were schooled by their parents and they are taught with the Bible being the foundation of their education. Around 1647, the first community or public schools were started, with every community that had at least 50 houses getting a school. Later on, around 1776 to 1835, other school options were established, such as day schools for ages 5 to 7, where the children went to their teachers' houses, and elementary schools from 7 to 10, where teachers went to their students' houses and taught them, and grammar schools from ages 10 to 14, which prepared them for college. The Bible was still the foundation in these kids' education, whether their parents taught them or a teacher that taught all of them. Over time, more and more kids were put into public school to be taught by the teachers that were selected by the school, not the parents. Directly taking inspiration from the German man Johann Gottlieb Fichte, who thought that children should be given away to the state and whose schooling should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than their schoolmasters would have wished. An American man named Horace Mann designed a school system for Massachusetts that quickly spread to the rest of the country. So schools removed the Bible and prayer and focused on tearing down any through free thought in their students. I wanted to write about our schooling system because of the girls on my soccer teams and knowing that they're in school all day and not knowing what it might be doing to them. After reading about our school systems and hearing these girls come to practice and talk about how they just endured the school day in a numbshell where they are incapable of actually learning and wanting to learn, it made my choice of topic of presentation a whole lot easier. Learning about our schooling system a few hundred years ago compared to today, with the huge changes that were made, makes me wonder what our country would look like if we still implemented Christianity and the Bible into our education. Would it be a better, greater nation, or would we still end up right where we are anyways? In my opinion, I think that if we still had schools that taught with the Bible at its heart, our country would be more full of kinder and more virtuous people, and it would lead to a more biblically centered government, and the children in public school would be able to think freely and act otherwise than what their teachers might want them to.
Thank you. Jack, do you have a response to Michaela?
I love that topic. And what would be your first action to trying to get, like, what would be the first thing that you would try to do to try to get the Bible back in school?
I would probably tell them how our schools have changed from where they started and what they are now, and what we have based our school systems upon. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Maggie, you're next.
Okay. My paper is about the prohibition of alcohol and the prohibition repealed. In 1919, the 18th Amendment was made. This amendment stated that alcohol was prohibited, meaning it was illegal to own or consume alcohol. In 1933, this amendment was repealed, meaning you could own and consume alcohol. Should it have stayed legal? Let's see. What are the pros of keeping alcohol illegal? Some pros are that it can prevent underage drinking. I play soccer and I have heard of my teammates, friends underage drinking or themselves drinking. So this impacts me personally. Speaking of underage drinking, did you know that in different states there are different drinking ages? In Hawaii, Louisiana, and Vermont, the drinking age is 18. In Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Minnesota, Montana, New York, Texas, and Wisconsin, the drinking age is 19. And in Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, and in New Hampshire, the drinking age is 20. Now let's go back to the pros. Less driving under the influence. Getting in a car accident is one of my biggest fears, and it is really easy to get in a car accident while under the influence of alcohol. Just don't drive under the influence. Less people would get abused while they are with a person who is under the influence of alcohol. If there is no alcohol, then there is much less people getting abused while somebody else is under the influence. What are the cons of keeping alcohol illegal? Not everybody gets drunk. There are people out there that don't like getting drunk, nor do they get drunk. They just drink alcohol. So taking away alcohol for all could feel unfair to the people who don't abuse it. People still could use it illegally. Just like some drugs and other substances can be illegal, but people still find a way to buy it and use it. And alcohol is the oldest beverage in the world, other than water. When things are that old, it's just hard to just take it all away. With all that said, I believe it's a personal preference, and I won't judge you either way you land.
Thank you, Maggie. Ryan, do you have a response to Maggie?
I think it was really good. I would say I think one of the other cons of illegalizing alcohol would be like I feel like more people would try and like steal it from I don't know, whatever they I don't know. But there I think there'd be a little more crime.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Isabella, you are next.
I got a response to Maggie real quick.
Oh,
So Maggie, what if we did I'm not this isn't against you or anything, but if we did illegalize it, also what would happen to all the people who sell alcohol for a living, like waiters, bartenders, etc.?
Yeah, they would lose a lot of money and they wouldn't. Like, if that's all that they're doing, then they could lose their livelihood kind of thing.
Yeah.
all right, Isabella.
Okay, my presentation was about the freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. Why is it important? The freedom of the press allows the press to state their opinions about the things going on in the world. They can let people know about the different things going on in other states or the capital. Many people would have no idea about a lot of things if it weren't for the press. I think that if more people read the newspaper or social media, that they would know more about the president and the government. Whenever I hear ads about the presidential election, all I hear is about how bad the other person is. I think that they should give more information about the individual instead. I also think they should put more information on the ballot about the different propositions. Lots of inspiring things happen in the world that we need to know about, and that is what the press is for. They are supposed to provide the information that helps us make decisions about the needs of our community. It can also inspire change in the world when people learn about great things that other people have done. Sometimes the things you see on social media will be fake news. One of the downsides to freedom of the press is that you have the freedom to write untrue things. Many times they will only put on ads things they think necessary for you to know. They might not give you all the information about the product. Freedom of the press allows them to say as much or as little as they want to. Newspapers can also influence people's day-to-day lives. If you see a funny picture or phrase, it could make you laugh and have a good day. There are also people on social media that tell everyone about their lives and how they live them. They can give you ideas about something they did or somewhere they went. You can keep up on friends' lives and doings that you wouldn't know otherwise. When you turn on the news in the morning, you can find out if a road is closed so you make it to work on time instead of being turned around. You can see the weather for the next week to help you with your plans. You can see when new restaurants or stores open or close and when they have sales. You will also know when a food is being recalled or when pets need adopting. Freedom of the press makes it so students can submit stories about their school to the local newspaper. They can talk about accomplishments and winning a game. It can help parents to know about what is going on at their child's school. A school newspaper can also give updates on upcoming events or dates and notify people of the time. It could tell other students about council openings or an election coming up. I think newspapers should be more available.
Thank you. Maya, do you have a response?
Not really. It was said really good. I like how you put in like on their like what do they call it? Campaigning, like how they can show more about their lives and like how what kind of person they like actually are. I like that a lot because I'm also very curious about like what their lives actually look like and everything.
All right, thank you. Kenna.
Okay, I did my presentation is on God's influence on the government from when we first started out to now. Believe it or not, the United States government was built not just on the Bible but on God too. The incorporation of God and Christianity into the American government has roots in colonial era, long before the establishment of the United States as an independent nation. One of the earliest formal acknowledgments of God and governance was the Mayflower Compact of 1620, signed by the Pilgrims. This document stated that their intent to form a government was for the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith. It established a precedent for viewing civil authority as a covenant with God's approval. During the foundation of the United States, Christian influence remained in public rhetoric and foundational documents. The Declaration of Independence, 1776, famously references God, diverting back to Him as the creator and divine providence. God was continuously incorporated in government practices, such as the Continental Congress, which often called for days of prayer, fasting, and thanksgiving. In 1787, during the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin proposed seeking divine guidance through prayer to resolve debates. As you can see, early on, God was our foundation, our creator, and the one who gifted us this nation. Our founding fathers had hope for its future, a future centered and led by God's hand. Throughout this course, I was amazed to find out how much God was involved in leading and creating of this country and how he's been removed from it. In George Washington's farewell address, he emphasizes the importance of morality and religion as pillars of public life. He believed that virtue and moral character were essential for a successful government and the preservation of liberty. He stated, of all the dispositions and habits which led to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. His hope was that these values would guide both leaders and citizens in maintaining a just and effective government. This has truly opened my eyes to see what we started out as a country and what we have fallen into without God at our center of our government.
Thank you. Adam, do you have a response to Kenna?
I think it was really good that you chose one about like how our government is was. And I think it's just really good because on that topic in particular, it really opens for at least that topic, it just kind of opens from what we could be and what we were. And it's really sad to have seen how good we were and how much we need God. And then all of a sudden we just like, oh no, we don't need it. We just slowly lack off. And now, oh, John, we're in a pit and we're deep in it. So yeah, anyway, I think it was really good. So thank you.
Thank you. Ryan. Where did you go? There you are. I lost you on my screen. Hi, Ryan.
I'm so offended. All right. My paper is on the Constitution. The Constitution is the basic law that directs the form and conduct of public administration in the United States, enacted on September 17th, 1787, later followed by the ratification in 1788. It lays down the practice and procedures of how federal states should be established. That is one of the federal governments. Yeah, that is one of the federal governments where the authority of government is properly split between the central government and the subsequent tiers. I can't read very well of the regime. It only takes one glance to see what the Constitution is all about because the first few words are meant to form a more perfect union. That includes justice, tranquility, defense, general welfare, and in other words, granting civil liberties to the people. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you. Lydia, do you have a response?
It was really well put together. I don't really have, yeah, just pretty good.
Okay, thank you. Maya, you're the last one.
Finally. Okay, so I decided to do my presentation on like the founding or beginning kind of a little bit of America. So understand the Pilgrim's purpose in finding what would become America was advanced in a Christian faith to bring the gospel to the Western Hemisphere. Too many citizens in this country seem to be ignorant of the well-being of American people, being an example and model of the rest of the world. The United States of America is not a kingdom of God, but is the best the world has to offer. Built on a biblical foundation, others such as Viking predated Columbus around 1000 AD, but the pressure faded. Columbus brought together the eastern and western hemisphere. It is a myth that Columbus came to America on the sole purpose of getting rich. For the execution of the journey to the Indians, I did not acknowledge mathematics or maps. It is simply the fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy. The fact that the gospel still must be preached in so many lands in such a short time is what convinced me. Belief that the return of Christ was near, belief that the gospel should be spread to Asia and Africa, the barrier Islam, who controlled the trade routes since 680. Columbus's journey, the goal was to bring the gospel to Asia, obstacle Islamic Empire. Method, reach Asia by sailing west of Spain, going around the Muslim-controlled trade routes. Despite his mistakes and sin, his heart was for the gospel. His journal, October 11th, 1492. I think how this like impacts me is that I'm like a citizen in America, and I probably will be for the rest of my life. And that's kind of like what mine is.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Michaela, do you have a response?
I really liked the topic of it, and I thought that it was really interesting just how you talked about how America started and like who started it and what they were trying to do. So I thought that was really interesting.
All right. And Miss Patricia, sorry, I left you out.
I signed up for this course.
I know, but I just, I don't want to assume you're doing all the work.
Do I do all the work?
No.
Oh, she's gonna get it. All right, guys. Democrat versus Republican. Why must we choose a party? Liberal versus conservative. Why must we choose a side? During my young adulthood, I didn't really have an opinion of my own. My parents and grandparents were very influential, as well as insistent that regardless of my interest or opinions, that I would vote Republican. End of story. I spent most of adult life voting this way, as for the most part, I agreed with the conservative ideas of the Republican candidate at any given election. However, I also agreed with many of the liberal stances of the Democratic candidates as well. But due to the overwhelming pressure of parental influence, I didn't feel I had the choice but to vote Republican. What bothers me most is that instead of defining the issues based on facts, they are overclouded by categorizing them into the either liberal or conservative views. I'm confident that regardless of which way a person might lean in general, that it's most likely we have a mixture of liberal or conservative opinions on anything we discuss. Neither is bad, nor is either perfect or ideal. I'm now close to 50 and no longer have parents or grandparents correcting my opinions and decisions to match theirs. I must think about the issues with respect to myself as an individual, but also take to account what I may believe may have consequences for others. I realize that I do not have the answers to the world's problems, no matter what the educational books, internet, and TV infomercials can provide to me. I am learning through friendships and taking this class with you that for me and my children to make informed decisions is to learn the basis of this country. The Bible and its lessons are new to me, but I understand more than ever to strive to do the right thing. That's to learn from those things that are foreign to us. I do have trouble taking historical references and comparing them to the current events. It's hard to do in the moment. I believe that if we communicate these ideas and opinions with each other, we learn from each other and come up with reasonable solutions. Knowing to do this, that there will be uncomfortable conversations. And I trust that we can keep those conversations civil and not let them break relationships. How do we start the conversation? I believe it must be a priority to discuss issues with everyone that we can on a regular basis. It should not be only at election time. How about, like a book club, we have an issue of the month club? I expect that this will be a very eclectic discussion. But again, this would enlighten those who were not apprised of an issue or concern of the people attending the club. I would encourage anyone to attend and bring a friend or three. And of course, there will be snacks. I hope that this idea resonates with the young adults here. I can only imagine what I might have thought if I heard this at a young age. I am dissatisfied with many of my friends who I grew up with, who still to this day do not want to talk, quote, politics. When they say this to me, I wonder who they think will make the decisions for the town they live in. Are they satisfied with who's representing them when it comes time to change laws or increase property taxes, etc.? Instead of complaining about what's happening, why not be a part of the discussion and a voice to those representing us? I worked for a congressman in Washington, D.C. in the late 90s. It was one of the best times of my life. I learned while working in D.C. that nothing happens fast. The squeakiest wheel gets the attention first. Unfortunately, the lobbyists with the most time and money get the most attention of our representatives. However, that doesn't mean that the representatives agree with the lobbyist. It just means that they can take up an extraordinary amount of time in the office if the office allows them. Be the squeaky wheel. Make everyone know the issues at hand and listen to others who disagree with you. You most likely will learn something new.
Very good. Thank you. Do any of you, since I'm not drawing names, would any of you like to respond? Maggie, are you raising your hand?
You didn't give anybody a response.
You would like me to. Well, so I really appreciate what you're saying. And one of the things that struck me is that we idolize George Washington as the father of our country. And he said, don't have political parties, like stay towards the middle, be wide. And yet here we are where you have to choose one or the other in order to feel like you're making a difference. And so that struck me as the beginning of your thoughts, is just like we're doing something contrary to a framer right in what we do every day. But I love your ideas of getting along and having hard conversations, even if it's uncomfortable. So I am super impressed with everyone. Like, you guys act like you're using your brains, and I really appreciate that. So well done, my friends. I like it a lot. Here's my question for you as we move into the American Citizenship Quest, or part of it, test of it. There are 100 questions. We have 10 minutes left before class is over. I'm really tempted to not use crowd buzzer because that's going to take up at least 4 or 5 of our minutes. But I will if you guys really will be heartsick if we don't use crowd buzzer. I need a thumbs up for crowd buzzer or a thumbs down for more. Okay, all right, you better get on crowd buzzer right away. And our new, I think I'm going to have to log out and log on because that's still left again. It's JNDV is the game code. JNDV. I should start seeing your names come up. Oh, Maya's got the first one in. Good job. It's happening. It's happening. I approve of your team names. Well done. Are we all in? Who is potato? Kenna?
That's me. I tried to spell it really fast and I'm pretty sure I
Uh,
typoed. That's okay.
As long as I know who you are, I'm gonna be good with that. We did lose Kenna. Who are we?
It says that I'm in, so but not on your screen.
That's so weird. I'm gonna just reload real quickly.
Kenna, you're probably in some other rando person's.
Oh, you know why? Because it's only showing the first 8.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm turning it off to reset. I will ask the question and then the first 8 will respond. Okay, just so you know, the U.S. citizenship exam is 100 questions. If you were actually doing it, it would be all verbal. There's no multiple choice. And they will give you the first 6. You have to have 6 correct to pass, and they will ask you 10. Okay, just so you know. What is the supreme law of the land? Garrett, you're first. What's the supreme law of the land? You're not making noises. You can't, and it's not coming on? That's weird. Okay. Try it. Say it with your loud mouth. Enunciate very clearly. Yeah, I don't know.
Put it in chat.
Where's the chat? One of you guys tell it for me. Why don't all of you unmute yourselves so that we can go quickly when we respond? We'll take that little bit out of technology. Is it in chat yet?
Is it working now? Did I fix it?
Oh, you're there. You're there. Okay.
Let's go. Okay. The supreme law of the land. This is probably the one I actually don't know. I would say the supreme law of the land is that man will be sinful,
Okay.
and I guess that what I'm saying is it's nature's law, the God's law and nature's law.
That is not the answer on the citizenship exam. Michaela, would you like to snag it?
That um words left my mind. 1 second. That that God is like the greater power.
That
Like
is not the answer of the U.S. citizenship test. Maggie,
The president?
that is not the answer. Ryan,
I have no idea. I just buzzed.
okay. Tyler,
Is it the Constitution?
yay! Tyler got
Oh,
it. All right, Tyler gets the 10 points right there. All right, I'm turning it off. We are moving on to the next one. Let me back this down. Okay. So the Constitution was the answer on that one. What does the Constitution do? Maggie,
I don't remember.
It protects us.
okay, you're going to get that one because one of the functions is that it protects the basic rights of Americans. All right. I've got to turn this off. Next one. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are those words?
what? It will not. Oh,
Garrett,
Uh, First 3 words.
of the Constitution.
Oh gosh. I can't remember if there's
All right, I'm buzzing on. I don't know what the time
yeah.
is, but I'm going to count to 5. Ryan,
Um, I was gonna say we the people, but I don't think that's the Constitution.
that
Oh,
actually
is it?
is the correct answer.
Oh,
Good job. We the people. Next question. What is an amendment? Maggie.
Like a law, sort like so to speak, kind of. It's like a rule for us.
Okay, I would need more specific to give that to you, Michaela.
It is like an an extension of the law to adjust, like to fix problems that are in the law.
Okay, and I'll give you that, a change or an addition to the Constitution. All right, next question. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? Garrett.
The Bill of Rights.
Woohoo! Done. Okay. Let me scroll down here. The Bill of Rights. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Garrett, you have got like some serious tapping skills going on. What is
The First Amendment is the first one, or does it have to be the specific first one?
Yes, one right or freedom from the First Amendment.
The freedom of speech.
Very well. Good job.
It's because he's a gamer. That's why he can tap it so fast.
That's so. He's got special skills. Okay, I'm gonna go on down. How many amendments does the Constitution have? Isabella,
27.
you are correct. Good job. What did the Declaration of Independence do? Garrett,
I even gave a second right before I clicked it. Um,
oh, I screwed that up. You better have it right because I don't know who was number 2.
what did the independence do? It gave us our independence.
It declared our independence from Great Britain. All right. All right. What are, excuse me, got to go back over here. There's got to be a better way. Oh, I just gave it to you. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are the answers to 2 things. What is the freedom of religion? Michaela,
It being allowed to like I forgot the word, like praise, like being able allowed to follow whatever religion you want to.
the answer is to be able to practice any religion or not practice a religion, whatever you think is right. Okay.
Not specific enough.
Well, that's what the test, it gave me the test and the answers. So, what is the economic system in the United States? Adam, patato.
I'll be perfectly honest. I clicked it. I'm not 100% sure. The economic system. Isn't that like the money system, I think?
Yes. What type of money system is it?
Uh, paper? I don't know.
Okay, that's not it.
I just clicked the button. I don't know.
All right, Garrett?
Is it the financial?
Nope. Ryan?
the dollar.
Nope. Michaela? What
Is
economic system is in the United States?
it the money for the people?
Nope. Maggie?
No.
You have no answer?
No, I don't know.
Okay, Lydia.
I don't know. Is it like the freedom? I don't know.
Don't know this one.
Hannah.
Is it checks and balances?
No, but that was You're
That was
in
cool.
Isabella.
It's the capitalist.
Woohoo! Yes, that is correct. We are a capitalist market or a market economy. All right, what is the rule of law? Ryan.
I really did not want to go first, but okay. Like what what's the word? Restrains like the government from adding just random laws.
I'll give that to you. It's that everyone must follow the law, even the leaders. All right. Okay. Name one branch of the government. Garrett.
Judicial.
Yes, good job. There's judicial, executive, legislative. What stops one arm of the government from becoming too powerful? Garrett.
Can I just say checks and balances?
That is correct.
Let's go.
Or separation of powers. Who is in charge of the executive branch of our government? Brian.
Keep buzzing without knowing the answer, but the president.
That is correct.
Oh,
You sound so surprised.
I am. I am.
All right. Who makes federal laws? Ryan.
Court. Supreme Court. I don't know.
No, that is
Oh.
incorrect. Maggie.
Oh.
Bruh.
The government.
That's not specific. So I'm going to go to Isabella.
The president.
That is incorrect. Garrett.
Ooh, oh, am I not talking? Is it working? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see my green box, so light up. Let's say the House.
That is correct. The legislative branch.
Let's go. I didn't even know that one.
House. All right. We are now over. I'm just going to keep going. If you guys
Yeah,
need
just
to
keep going.
you can exit. I know you have life happening, but you have competition happening too.
I
So
do have to go. Thank you so much, AJJ.
you're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
loser.
Bye.
All right. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? Adam.
I have no clue. Wait, what's the question? Two parts of the
Two
Congress?
parts of Congress.
Oh, John. Am I allowed to like look in the book?
No, you're out of time.
No.
Whatever, my bad.
All right, Garrett.
Ooh, is it the House and the Congress?
Okay, it's half correct, but not totally. Ryan.
I know it's the House and the Supreme Court.
Nope. Maggie.
Is it like the legislative branch? Would that work?
It is, but I'm asking for the two parts of the legislative branch. Michaela.
Okay, the House and the state.
No. You got one right. Lydia.
Is it like the state and the Supreme Court?
No. Maya.
Oh dear. It's the House of Representatives and something else. But I don't remember now.
President.
You are correct. It is the House of Representatives and something else.
Yeah, I figured.
I think me and Garrett got it.
Okay, Kenna's not here. Isabella?
House and Senate.
Correct.
Oh.
Woohoo! All right. You children, you peoples. How many senators are there? Isabella.
It's 100.
Okay. I almost
have a
typed in
grown-up.
100 points there, just so you know. She gave a presentation. I think she has the right to answer.
She should be her own team then.
I know, but she's not in there. Some people. We elect a senator for how many years? Garrett.
Well, sorry, my computer just flipped out for a sec. Hang on. Okay, now I'm good. How many, like, for how many years? Isn't it unlimited?
No. Adam. Patow.
What am I?
I thought it was lifetime, wasn't it?
No. Brian.
2.
No. Isabella. 6. 6 years. That is correct.
What did they say? What geo spell?
Okay.
Go. Go. Go.
The House of Representatives has how many voting members? Garrett.
Oh gosh. 150.
No. Adam. That's kind of no.
Oh no, that's how many is in the nation. Oh, John, like 200? I don't know.
No. Isabella.
Okay. 485?
No. Brian.
512.
No. Michaela.
Like, I don't know, 50?
No. Maggie.
Like 5?
No. Lydia.
100?
No. 435.
Bruh.
Failure. Failure. 435 is the answer. All right. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? Garrett.
Ooh. For how many years? I thought it was something. I thought the question was different. For a lifetime.
No. Isabella.
2?
Yes. Correct. Okay. What does a U.S. senator represent? Maggie.
What?
Um,
Oh, okay.
well, the US.
No.
No.
Michaela.
This state.
Yes, correct. The senators represent the states. All right.
Yeah, I accidentally deleted the buzzer tab, so I'm gone.
Are you going to stick around or are you going to get back on or no?
I think I'm gonna go do some school.
Okay.
School. So anyway, thank you
I
so much for doing
understand.
this class. It was a
Take
ton
care.
of fun. Thank you.
I'll do like 3 more questions and then we'll call it good. Okay. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Garrett.
Because of the people. How many people live in the state?
Yes, correct.
Oh,
Please give a try.
Okay.
Really loud.
How many years do we elect a U.S. president for? Maggie.
no.
4 years. She said it out loud. I saw her lips move.
Yes.
Are you so excited? All right. In what month do we vote for a president? Garrett.
It was this month. What is this month? February.
No.
Dang it. What was
Ella.
this month?
November.
Yes, correct.
Dude, I fumbled.
like proof of what happens under pressure. What is
Yes.
the name of the president of the United States right now? Garrett.
The electoral president?
No,
Electoral
the
president?
president right now.
Oh, right now, the lame duck.
That's not an actual name.
Isn't that what it's called when they're
Oh,
changing?
I'm asking for the name of the current president of the United States.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, but you said
Okay,
lame
I
duck
was
first.
I was thinking technical, okay?
That is not correct.
I thought that's what you meant.
What is the name of the current vice president? Maggie.
Harris, Kamala Harris.
Correct. Right. You guys are so funny. I like you. What is the name of the soon-to-be inaugurated vice president of the United States? Isabella.
Ooh, vice president. I didn't know that one.
Vance.
Vance, JD Vance. Good job.
JD Vance.
All right. Are we needing, I mean, we've got a tie right now.
You should do points for names, team names.
I have to see him again. Buzz in.
Mine is jumping jellyfishes.
Okay, Regent is my gamer name, just FYI.
I see. I
Do you know what a
am
regent
really
is?
struggling. Well, I know what it is in a legal sense, but I don't know if that's how you're using it. I personally love alliteration. So because I love alliteration and because I am making the rules, I'm going to give 5 points to the jumping jellyfish and 5 points to the bluebirds. That's just how it's going to be. It's not fair. Sometimes it isn't fair. That's why you need law.
I'm using regent as in the sense of
When we played on things.
kings and queens.
Oh, okay. I can see that. You have aspirations of monarchy and royalty happening right there. All right. Well, as of this moment, some of you aren't actually citizens. That's unfortunate. You didn't get 6 right. But that's okay, because when we have crowd buzzer, maybe you would have gotten 6 right. We stopped asking questions on question 28, just so you know. And I'm sorry, because that would have been more fun to be able to finish it. There are 72 more questions, and they will be part of the slides that I'll send out to everyone. I like you guys. I have enjoyed spending time with you all of this semester. And so thank you for all of that. And are there any other closing thoughts that you all would like to share? You few who have maintained for 15 minutes past class time.
Just thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love politics and government and civics, and it was just awesome.
I'm really glad. Thank you for your contributions. It was good. It's so much easier to have a class when people talk to you. And so you guys get gold stars because you talk about it. You think about it. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? All right. For
Thank
those
you.
of you who are economicsing with me next semester, we'll see you sometime mid-January.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thank
It's been
you.
fun.
Thank you.
Here.
You're a good teacher.
Thank you.
Great